All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to our little experiment in podcasting called Warrants Unleashed, where a bunch of old Army buddies are just sitting around talking about whatever comes to mind. This is our second episode. You can find our first episode on any podcast provider out there and our YouTube channel, Warrants Unleashed. I am Chris. I will be kind of moderating until it really gets rolling, and then it kind of takes on its own. You see we have James, Kenny, and Floyd. The unicorn looks like he was in a knife fight about 3 or 4 days ago after having surgery, so we don't expect him to make an appearance today. But our thoughts are with him.
HIPAA.
Hippo. He's not that big.
So today's topic is the app on our phones called Untapped. For those that don't know, it's about tracking social media for beer drinkers, basically. If you go to any brewery, you've probably seen the board of Untapped drinks that they have and how you can check in and all that good stuff. We'll get into it more. But to kick it off, everybody had to get a unique beer to help explain the app. I am drinking Snappy Limelight. I have no idea what the brewery is. It is like drinking a Sprite.
Snappy. That's not like you.
Brewed.
Yeah, I know, right?
It was a unique. I stopped at the package store. They didn't have any uniques for me, so I just grabbed one of Meg's out of the fridge.
Snappy Limelight is by 12% Beer Project in New Haven, Connecticut.
So this brewery is a co-op. They have like one set of brewing equipment that 4 or 5 different breweries use.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty cool. I haven't been there, but I've seen a bunch of the stuff that comes out of there. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the guys that hang out at the Casual Pine up here with me are into brewing. One of them, Ryan Schooley, he's an engineer out here at Nissan at the plant. So he's got all kinds of high tech, he's a real geeked out guy about it. He finished 3rd at one of the home brewery contests here in the state. And that's what him and a couple other guys are doing. Apparently you have to have an LLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his brewery is called Brewery Gnome or something. So you got an LLC for it. And as long as you brew it in like one of those co-ops using like a real place's equipment, you can sell it, bottle it, and sell it.
Oh, that's cool.
If you're doing it at home, like they do usually, you can't bottle it and sell it and put it in a store. So that's what those co-op things are about. That's my contribution to the podcast. I'll be done now.
Cool. What is the beer you're drinking?
It is by Creature Comforts Brewery, which is out of Athens, Georgia. It's a regional brewery. My dumbass just checked it in on Untapped, and I forgot to rate it before I hit the check-in button. But it's called.
You can edit it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do that right now. Don't put any more pressure on me, Floyd. So
Multitasking is the challenge for this one.
It is 6.6% ABV. It is an IPA.
Oh, look at you.
Look at me. American IPA. And it's called Tropicalica. It's not too citrusy. Even with a name like that, you'd think it would be. It is not hoppy. It's kind of the perfect little summer beer. I'm really enjoying it. So I had it the other day when I was at the plant. I had my growler with me. I was looking for one of the growler to fill up. And that was the one that I picked out of all of them that I had, which I had a lot of them that day. It's a long day. There were tequila shots involved too.
But that brewery's near you.
It's in Athens, Georgia, so it's not really near me. No.
Oh, okay.
It's within, it's closer to me than you are, so we'll call it near me.
Yeah.
Okay.
James, let me guess. You're drinking something from West 6.
Actually, I'm not. I found, so when I was looking at first I had to look at my fridge. I was like, do I have a unique in my fridge? And I found one. I don't know where I got it from. Devil's Harvest Breakfast IPA, which is from Southern Prohibition brewery in Hattiesburg, which we've all been to
That's
Camp Shelby.
that's the one in like the old tobacco barn.
We've been there,
Yeah,
but I
Yeah,
can't
that
believe
one-
I looked it up. None of us have had it. I don't know where the hell I got it from. Because I was gonna go buy a unique, and then I was like, wait a minute, let me scan this in Untapped. I hadn't had it. And then I realized it was from there. So I was like, it'll be a good, we've been to Camp Shelby quite a few times. And I hadn't tried it yet. I hadn't opened it,
Try it. Let's go.
but it says it's hoppy and smooth. What's the APV? 5.3. All right.
5.3. Let's go hit it, man. Let's do it. Let's do a
So what-
live demonstration of what it's like to drink a beer.
I like it.
What
Closer
makes it
to a-
breakfasty?
I don't know. That's what I don't understand why they call it a breakfast IPA.
Is it?
It,
You're supposed to have that for breakfast.
they have a lunch IPA.
which we've done,
Sure.
all five of us have done, or four of us have done plenty of times.
I was going to say, this is a group of people that doesn't mind having a beer for breakfast.
Exactly. It's not bad. It tastes more it's more of a, because the description says fruity. It's more of a New England IPA than it is.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's probably got like a little juice in it too that makes it
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, something. It's not bad.
So I got a phone call from my daughter today that said, "Dad, we have bees outside. There's a bee's nest." And so I'm like, all right, I'll go to the store and get that and get my unique while I'm at it. Hey, it's a pretty good place. Get some wasp killer. And I saw something. Let's see if this comes through there. So that is
What a cool can.
4 giants.
Very appropriate.
4
Very
giants. There's that would be you 4. Well, Jay, of course. 4 giants.
Let me see that again.
Tropical- 4 giants tropical treasure. And this is from Founders in Grand Rapids. And it's new. It's new to me anyway. And this is a hazy. It's a hazy IPA with 7.5.
What?
Hazy's good.
Which brewery?
Founders.
Oh, okay. We went there.
Founders in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, we went there.
Mm-hmm. So let's see here. It's all right. Smells good.
Hold on, I gotta take this out. I gotta check it in.
That's good. That's good.
Good boy.
It's missing a little bit of that pine in there, but that's okay. It's all right. This is probably the most for 7.5. This is probably got the most tropical taste I've had in an IPA in a long time. Usually it's kind of a huge.
The ABV 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
Oy.
Yikes.
It's fine. It'll be okay.
Okay, so on Untapped, I'm gonna figure out when we check in a beer while we're on the podcast. There's Untapped at home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out a way, because you can, I think it's Foursquare. I'm gonna create a location for our podcast.
Oh, nice. So Swarm, use the Swarm by Foursquare app.
Yeah. Remember how we did that at
Yeah, they just
In
changed it. That's
Oklahoma?
all. Yeah, they changed it to that Swarm app to create places now.
Have to check this baby in.
All right. So while you guys are slowly checking stuff in, I had come up with a couple of questions about the app Untapped to get some conversation rolling, a little conversation starter. So the first thing was, where are you with uniques? So I'd have to look to what the heck mine are.
You're probably about 2,000.
I
Okay.
wish I'm actually kind of, because I really primarily drink IPAs, so I'm not that much. 1336.
Where do you see where you're at on this thing? Because I went to my profile, so
It
where's it
should,
at?
if you go on profile, it's on the top right. Like there's check-ins and
Oh,
then
okay,
beers.
Yes, my big dumb ass up there, yeah. So check-ins are 555, beers are 529.
You finally hit 500.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Remember when we made a bet
Yeah,
that I had 500?
What happened to that bet y'all had going on?
I won, but I wasn't going to call him out about it.
Because I was going to get to 500 before you got to 1,000.
Yep.
And what are you at now?
1336.
Yeah. Lost that.
Where's friends? I want to give a shout out to our esteemed unicorn who is at 1989.
I'd like to be in 1989.
Me too.
That
It
was
a good year. This is a good
That was a
year.
year.
Was it 8th grade, I think.
I had just ended my first enlistment in the Marine Corps in 1989.
You were
I
not in
was,
eighth. You were not in eighth grade.
Freshman.
I was not in the
Yeah,
eighth
I
grade.
was in junior high.
Yep.
I was a
I'm surrounded
freshman.
by babies.
Yeah, but you look good doing it, Kenny.
Kenny was on a second enlistment in the Marine Corps by 89.
I could have been. I got out in 89. I ETS after 4 years in 89.
James, what are you
So-
at for uniques?
Hold on, let me check this in.
Okay. Well, we'll go to Floyd then.
I am at, including I just checked that one in, so that would be 503
Whoa.
Whoa.
with an average rating of 3.6. And I will show you, see if you can see that on the graph there. I don't know if you can or not.
Nah, it's all too much light on it.
Too much light on it. We'll see if we can tone that down.
So I was about to
There you
ask.
go. There you go. There's my
Oh, yeah.
there's my grade scale.
Nice shot group.
Right there.
Yeah, mine is very similar. I'm 3.5 average rating.
My uniques, 897.
That's because all that free West Coast or West 6 beer you're drinking now.
Yeah, James comes up with a new name and then he checks it in. Nope. We're gonna change the name to this.
So how many unrated beers do you guys got on there? Because apparently I make that mistake a lot. I have 27 unrated beers.
I have
18.
121 with an average of 309.
309. Yeah, can you show? I think it was Chris's I was looking at. Can you show your graph? I think Chris's was like peaks and valleys.
Oh, I'm all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is not. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're all.
Yeah, I
Don't
saw.
count on my rating being accurate. I'm primarily using it just to check in and track what I've drank.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Like Josh, I forget what beer it was I checked in, but I was like, this is really refreshing. And I gave it like a 2. And he's like, you called it refreshing and gave it a 2? I'm like, it wasn't mind blowing. It was just it was like a Bud Light.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
Jay's at 1989, and there's his.
Yeah, he's got a good shot grouping too.
Yeah, Jay. And
Is
he hardly ever tags anybody, and it's like you go look at it and
I'm impressed. So we went out to Pennsylvania once, and on the ride back, I kind of called him out about like why he didn't check in places, and he had a reasonable answer. But I'm impressed that he's moved past that and has location services turned on because he's like, you get rewards based on places. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. He has 0 unrated, and his average is below 3. So he's pretty strict.
He's got
Okay.
a very particular palate.
Yes.
Like his number 1 beer, Pollyanner, is so rare to get.
He's
think I've
very
Yeah.
He rates every beer.
And he gives
Well,
it a great description too.
Yeah, he does. He goes in detail on it.
He's a foodie.
Yeah.
I know, but what I like about this is like Jay's, like I go into my profile and I look at my ratings, how many 5s, 4s I've had, whatever. This is Jay's. Like you can go in.
Yeah.
Like it's not like PII and secret
Yeah.
stuff. Like I can go in and see like, yeah, his Oktoberfest.
I like to see if I do find a unique, I like to see what my friends have rated it. And because I know my flavor profile, what you like, Floyd, and I'll go, okay, I'll like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say sometimes when I rate them though, it's like a couple times the brewery like responded back like, "Hey, thanks for, checking it in." And it's like sometimes I'm like cognizant of that. Like I don't want to like rate. I can rate it a 3.5. Maybe it's a 3.2, but I'll give it a 3.5 just because like I don't know.
If it's really bad, I will be brutal, man. I have rated them like a
I've
0.25.
seen,
The
yeah.
only reason I can't give it a 0 is because it won't let me.
I've had there's a couple of 0.25s on my list.
So a little history about Untapped for our listeners. We started this back in October of 2016. That's when I joined. And Chris, you want to explain the rules?
All right, so we made it a little game, just trying to have some fun, kind of a competition for the most uniques. First off, can't do tasters. That's so you can do tasters.
No,
let me rephrase.
Talk flight to 50.
Flights
That
to
was our
50.
rule.
Your first 50 beers, you could do a flights of beer. After that, you have to drink the entire beer. Was there another? I can't think of the other rule.
That was, I think, flights to 50 was it.
No faces on the pictures. But as far as like the drinking, I think after 50, I thought the rule was you had to finish the beer.
You have to
couldn't-
finish the beer if you check it in. You can't two
And
sips and be like,
And it's the pour the brewery offers. Some beers is an 8-ounce pour, some is a 12-ounce, some's whatever. So whatever.
like if you happen to be at Connecticut Valley Brewing and you order a red sour and you're an IPA drinker, you're really stuck drinking the whole thing because you checked it in. Not that I've ever done that before.
I'll usually taste it before I do the check-in.
It's
Just like, does this taste like dog vomit? And I'm gonna have to lap it up. Like, no, we did. Yeah, that was that. And I think the flight to 50 was talk about a sales pitch. Because if it would have been like full beers, I don't know. I don't think it would have caught on. But the flight to 50 and the login.
It was that week. Maybe the week after we were there. It was the week after because it was just me, James, and the Unicorn, and we were at like 37, right? And we're like, wow, let's just get a couple of flights at Highland Railroad, and then hit 50, and we're like, okay. And then Jay randomly was like, no, you have to drink the whole beer. Flights are not good. I'm like, okay.
See, I'm going to protest that, man. I do not need to drink 12 ounces of nasty beer just to say I drink 12 ounces of nasty beer to be able to.
I have a friend from the Army who will remain nameless who has 4,600 check-ins around there. And I'm like, how do you do that? Everything he does is a flight.
Which I'm fine with. I am totally fine with that. A flight is like 4 to 5 ounces.
Yeah.
That's all I need to figure out if I like the beer or not. And
I agree.
I can choke down 4 or 5 ounces. If it's really good, I'll buy the whole beer like I did bought this whole growler. No, I'm not. I'm abiding by the rules. That's why I only have 5 something check-ins. I have beers for that. But I do flights a lot, and I think we should be able to do flights all the time.
Now,
there is the taster. We talked about this. I'm looking.
It is. It's there.
It's there.
It's taster. So I think once we need to have a meeting, not on the podcast, but we need to have a meeting with the Unicorn. And as long as you select taster, if you're doing a taster.
So I
agree.
I did bring it up after he had his
option at
under serving style.
There's like cans, draft,
there's
bottle.
draft, bottle, can, taster.
Oh, so you got to scroll over a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, cask, nitro, crowler, growler.
Yeah. See, I think it should be, you should have it, which is taster is a flight. It's 4 or 5 ounces of beer. Like I said, that's all I need to make my
determination. With that.
And when you're looking, you can filter. You can filter your numbers.
Right.
Like you can go in and say like,
yeah,
under your ratings, that same spot, but one of your filters could be by what the serving style was. So
because we need to get back into it. I think we need to get back into the competition, but where's that at?
I think they have a way of showing what one over the other. It's like Kenny's like, you know, I've had 5,000 beers in the last week, and it's like, yeah, Kenny, but you know, 4,500 of those were tasters. I can tell. Like it's an auditable product. I don't.
But
It's
what's wrong with the taster? We're tasting beer. You're not going out here and buying a 12-pack of Bud Light.
See, that's where I agree. Like, I see
Yeah.
a new 4-pack or a new beer. It's a 4-pack. I'm
Right.
like, I don't mind drinking the 12 ounces of the beer. I don't necessarily know if I want 3 more of them.
Right.
That's the one. That's where I'm like, I don't know. I'd like tasters again.
And I'm going to agree with you. And, you know, years ago, I don't know about where you guys are from, but like you could go into your liquor store and they had all the beers there. And they had an entire rack of singles and you could build your own 6-pack.
They do that
That's
here.
kind of, it's still here, but it's
Yeah.
kind of went away. I mean, if you go back there and try to build a 6-pack, it's just nasty beers that are up there. There's nothing, they don't have every beer in there that you can choose just
Right.
one of.
And
Yeah, you have to go to like Liquor Barn or Total
Total
Wine.
Wine.
Yeah, Liquor Barn and Total Wine. You have to go to a big.
Yeah, we have a Total Wine here, but yeah, I don't know.
I did it at Total Line a couple times, but I'm on my phone. Have I tried this one? Like, it took me like 30 minutes to pick out a 6-pack.
Yeah,
I say yes.
to flights.
To the- Yeah, I mean, yeah, as long as you log it in as a flight, well then it's logging it in as a flight. I mean, it's your choice. It's you going in saying, so it was not a competition, right? It's you. I mean, and also for, let's say I get a flight, right? Like, I don't know. I kind of want to try to see what these guys have. Okay, so I had a flight. I kind of want to log that in to go like, this is the
No,
one
I
that was
agree.
good.
It's a
This one is the one
taster.
that was bad. Like, I want to try, what was the one I tried that was good? Well, I'm going to put that in Untapped because I can't rely on my memory.
No, I agree. Especially like if you go for lunch, you're like, give me a taster. I can't get drunk unless I'm kidding.
Does you?
No, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I totally agree. I think
You
got
realize,
something
James,
for it.
you and Chris have like 3 times more beer logged in than I do. You just called me the drunk.
None of us are drinking tequila.
Right.
Well, hey, that's a whole nother app. We can get into that too if you want. I just want to point out that James looks like a lobster because clearly he's the only one that has access to a pool all the time.
Well, I also just got back from Panama City Beach 2 weeks ago. But
That's
yeah,
like-
I do.
that's like your-
I have a pool right there
It's like your 5th time down on this year too, right?
twice.
Retirement's good, man. Don't give the guy a hard time. It's not his fault you made a bad life choice, Kenny.
I mean, my pool is right there. If Kenny, if you ever come see me, like I said in the text message, you would know where my pool is. It's right there, like literally.
I will come up to see you, James, I promise.
You
Probably
need to.
after October 1st.
I've been there.
Definitely. No, I mean, hey, we'll figure, hey, I still got a beer stash. I'll get more beer. Actually, closer to, yeah, you're right, Kenny. You know why? I'll find out when they're brewing the snake cake.
There you go.
What? The what?
Snake cake. It's like the totally awesomest stout you've ever had in your life. Awesome.
So out
I don't
of
think you're
nowhere,
man enough to handle it, Floyd.
What's
little
that?
history.
What? No, what'd you say? What'd you say?
I said, I don't think you're man enough to handle it, Floyd.
Oh, you know I love a stout, man. You know I love a stout.
Some history behind that beer. I get a call from Kenny out of the blue. It was on a Saturday, wasn't it, Kenny?
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't." Just sitting there. He's like, "I'm in Lexington. We're gonna do a tour of West 6, which is where I'm at now. In about an hour. Do you want to come up and meet us?" All right. So I went up there and met Kenny and We did the tour. Then we did that tour of
Oh, that's the
that
god
bourbon place.
distillery place. Lord, they should be put in jail for selling that shit.
Well, and what was funny about that place, when we started the tour, you saw the end of the tour and they were like, you could do your own bottle. And me and Kenny were like, we're going to do our bottle when we leave, right? After we did the taster at the end of the tour, we're like, we didn't even finish it. I
We
think
didn't get tasters.
we had like 5 shots between, I had 5, he had 5.
Where's this?
I think we got to the second shot, Kenny, and we're like, we're
No.
not finishing this. No, we're done. And we didn't even, we were gonna do a bottle because you could do your own bottle.
Yeah. No, he's telling the story about when I went up to West 6, just hit him up on a weekend. I was in his town, didn't even tell him I was going up there. And we went down to West 6, and then there was right around the corner from it. You should check it out when you go to work tomorrow and see if that place is still there. I bet they are not still there.
Yeah, I'll find out.
That shit was so nasty. There was this distillery that was just starting, and we, of course, we stuck our head in there to try it out, and oh God, it was awful. The absolute worst of anything I've ever had.
It was like, it burned as soon as it touched your mouth. It was
So-
like a 4-year, it was a week.
I have had bad moonshine that was better than that.
So there's a distillery out of Boston. You know that flavor app that I've been telling you guys about, right? So I'm still doing it. You guys got to do it. It's a little pricey, but I'm having fun with it. The last month I ordered
Hold on. App, or is that a subscription?
subscription.
Okay.
They have an app too, but they had like, I don't even know how it was, but it was Boston. It was a distillery out of Boston. Like, I have to, right? I got to do Boston. It was the absolute worst whiskey I've ever tasted in my life. It had like cayenne pepper in it. I took like a big sip of it to like get the taste of it. And I'm like, oh, it took me,
Y'all are in Boston, man. It's all the Italians and Irish people up there. Who the hell thought it was a good idea for y'all to try cayenne pepper?
Right.
I don't know what they were thinking, man.
Funny.
So
Well,
got out on distilleries to Traverse City. I think we talked about it on our last one, Floyd. Traverse City Distillery up there. That is a very good, and they call it a bourbon, which it's a crime to call anything made outside of Kentucky a bourbon, but they don't care. They're criminals. It was very good. That it is very worth the money. That is a very good bourbon, whiskey, whatever you want to call it, but it was good.
yeah, I think I sent you a picture of that. Yeah, like, have you ever tried that? And I'm like, have you ever tried this before? Thinking, there's no way, right? And you're
Oh
like,
yeah, you did. Yeah, that's right.
and you're like, yeah, it's pretty good. I like that one. I'm like, I'm like,
How do you keep the whiskey straight, Kenny? Just memory, or you got an app?
Just memory.
Okay.
Kenny, when you see a bourbon, you're like, or a bottle, sorry,
Yeah.
bottle, and you start looking at it, and you're like, what's that? And then you're like looking at it, and you're like, Nevada? Why they got bourbon on it?
Well, I mean, technically, you could make bourbon somewhere
Anywhere.
other than Kentucky.
Right.
True
But also,
bourbon
so
is-
Chris,
it's
I'm gonna
not
give you some-
champagne.
Chris, so
They think it is.
true Scotch
Only on the island.
is made from barrels that come from Kentucky.
Yep.
That bourbon has been in.
Single-use bourbon barrel. Yep.
Yep.
Because you can in bourbon making, it has to be a never used
Yep.
charred white oak barrel by
Yep.
law.
Yeah. Same thing with Jack Daniels. They make their own. They actually make their own barrels down there. So
And then they sell them off to bourbon makers and sherry makers in France.
and beer companies and everything else. Yeah. And they also sell on the square all over the place down there too. So.
People who want to stick them in the corner of their garage, whatever.
I was laughing
Yeah.
my ass off. I was listening to a podcast the other day. At the end of the podcast, the guy recommends a whiskey. It's actually really neat. But his partner on the podcast is like, yeah, those bourbon barrel pieces. And I'm like, come on, man. They're
Bourbon
called-
barrel. They're called staves. Oh, I have another complete set of the horse race now.
Do you?
Yeah,
I got 4 now.
I think I have 4 left over after this complete set that I finally got.
So how are you displaying them?
They're in a Blanton's baggie right now. I've got one set displayed over there, but I don't have anything. I want to get the round thing for this one with the Blanton's bottle in it, because
Yep.
I have a stave, those bourbon thingies over there with the hose drill in it, like shows the
Kenny,
race.
I'll get you the stave.
I've got one of those already. I want the round thing now.
Oh, okay. I'll look for it. I got you.
I've got the stave sitting over there on the
I know what
counter.
you're talking about. You want the round thing. I
Yeah.
got you. I'll find one for you.
All right. So yeah,
But you have to go up to his house to get it.
Say what, Floyd?
You have to go up to his house to get it.
So Floyd, what you don't know is James lives like 10 minutes from the Blanton's distillery. His office was like around the corner. He
Yeah.
could walk to the Blanton's distillery.
See, so on this note though, you guys are all going up on the bourbon and the whiskey and the this, that, and the other. That's never been my thing, right? We know that.
Yeah.
But neither was IPAs.
True.
So it's like either it's just never going to be, or I'm just not tasting the right stuff. Because I've always told you, it all tastes like gasoline to me.
So you got to start at a certain place. And for a guy that it doesn't have a repertoire of whiskey, I would say an Eagle Rare, something light. If you want to go
Yep.
into the Scotch, do like a Glenmorangie or a Glenlivet. That's a very light Scotch, flavorful. Add a little water to it.
Now, I will say, you know, like when you think you have a certain food on your fork, but it's something else, and you put it in your mouth, and then it takes your brain a second to go like, whoa, what is that? Like, hold on, something's not happening right here. You know what I mean? Like that kind of situation. The Eagle Rare, I did taste that. We were in Virginia, so I
It's very
expected
good.
I
Yeah.
expected the gasoline,
Yeah, it's
Oh no, there's no.
and I
guessing.
put it in, and it was like, you know,
Yeah, if you're-
rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is actually something I can drink. It's
If
I
you're-
will say that
Eh.
Eagle Rare has a very distinct taste from other bourbons.
yes.
And a good one to start on. It's a really good bourbon, but it has a very distinct. I can't really describe it. How would you describe it, Chris? It's a very different taste than other bourbons.
So if you're
seems smooth,
expecting
mellow.
something like
It's
smooth.
it is smooth. But if you're expecting
And-
something like Jim Beam, it doesn't have that corny taste to it. It's got more. I'm guessing rye. I don't know. Like I don't know what the
No, it's not
No, it
rye.
doesn't. No,
it seemed
But it's a-
refined.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's a 10-year, which is rare to find.
at that price
Uh,
point.
Right,
Yeah.
that price point, and for their, you know, it's their lowest one is a 10-year. Their normal bottle is a 10-year bourbon, and like you said, smooth, doesn't burn.
there are a lot of good smooth bourbons though. Eagle Rare is a little different in that it's not just smooth; it has a distinct taste.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's got some flavor to it.
My palate is
Yeah.
not refined enough to describe it, but if you've ever tried it and tried other bourbons, which are very smooth, it's not just smooth. It's got a distinct. It's
Well,
very good, a
If
different
we're,
taste.
if we're still doing it after I finish this glass, maybe I'll try a little.
So Rachel went to Japan and
Oh,
brought me back some Japanese whiskey samplers, and so this is Kavalan, I guess.
good stuff.
Kavalan?
I've never had Japanese whiskey.
So this is the first one. It's got a lot of glare on it, so you guys can see it or not.
Lawrence Unleashed has gone international.
Yeah. So we're gonna give it a try. I bought a bottle of, I'll show it to you in a second, of some other Japanese whiskey that I actually paid $120 for, and I was like, it wasn't bad. It just didn't have any flavor. It just didn't.
So
It
you
was
got to be
new-
careful with.
It was neutral. It was
Yeah,
like
you
Yeah.
got to be careful with the Japanese stuff. Some of it has actual rye and corn and all that stuff, and some of them is rice. It's basically aged rice wine.
It's
Yeah,
dark sake.
Yeah, that's basically what this is.
See that
There's
look
no-
on your
there's-
face? That's the look that
Well,
I
there's-
have.
There's no burn to it. That's a look of disappointment. There's no burn to this. Now I'm not getting any distinct flavors. If anything, like you said, like a rice, which this probably isn't made with that. I don't know, but it's just it's got a little bit of a burn, like a little bit of heat. Not like, well, actually, it's heating up a little bit more now that it's sitting in my throat, but still, it's not. Yeah, there's no.
Would you say that whiskey suckies? Is that what you would say there?
No, it doesn't sucky. Jim Beam suckies.
Jim Beam, sucky.
George Dickel, which is right down the road. God bless them. They sucky.
Jim Beam. That's what Heather's father-in-law, not father-in-law, because that would be
That'd be
my
your
dad.
father.
Yeah,
That'd be
stepdad. Right. I just did that. Yeah. Heather's stepdad, who is not my father.
You sure?
Yes, that's what he pretty much killed himself on. He killed his liver on Jim Beam.
Well, he's not the
It's
first.
turpentine. I
I
don't
mean-
recommend it at all in any way, shape, or form.
Like a fifth a day, man.
Right.
So that's this bottle. It's still the same company. This is a single malt whiskey,
Okay, so that's probably gonna have a little more flavor to
and
it.
it is looks like it's aged in a sherry oak.
Okay, that's gonna be sweet.
So maybe it's a little better. Maybe it has some taste to it.
It should be sweet. Chris.
See, I'm gonna have to Google this single malt stuff. Like, it's just not me. I don't know anything about this crap.
Floyd, I got a guy that there's a YouTube channel. I'll find it and send it to you.
Kenny spitting it out. Are you spitting it out?
No, it's better than the other one. None of them
Okay,
are
that's
none of them
why
are
you're spitting
horrible.
it out.
None of them are horrible. I'm glad she got little bottles of it.
Tasters.
Mhm. So that one had a little more flavor. It's got a little more burn than the other one. Still basically the same thing though. It's not. I don't know.
So that distillery in Boston I was telling you about, it's Boston Harbor Distillery. I do not recommend them.
And again, this is a different. I don't know what the differences in these are. They're all different boxes and labels, but they all say single malt whiskey. So I've got this last one to try. And it's probably going to be the same as the other two.
Did it say what kind of cask it was in? What kind
No,
of barrel?
this is not in a cask. Doesn't say anything about that. It just says this is the classic. Yeah,
Classic.
Cavalan Classic. And
I kind of wish she would have brought home like 12 of them. So we could just
Yeah,
watch
you
you
would.
open each one on this call.
Have you met my friend Kenny?
I've met him a couple times.
that was not a good look or a good taste. Woof. Don't get the classic. The other two you can drink. Do not get the classics.
So we're all
Next time I'm in Japan, I will stay away from the classic.
Floyd.
Oh, you
we're
can
all-
find these at the liquor stores here.
Mhm.
I actually
Flip.
saw them at the liquor store.
we all booked a cruise to Key West in December.
Who's we all?
Me, Kenny, and James.
The Floyd didn't partake.
I didn't even know about it.
No, we figured you wouldn't get a permission slip to be able to go.
When is it?
December 12th, 15th.
15.
Oh, right over my wedding anniversary. We were talking about going on a cruise. Okay.
MSC Cruise Line.
Do you really want to go on your wedding anniversary cruise with me and Dave
Right.
and
You mean like last year when we went on a cruise, and like I just mentioned to her the other day, I said we need to go on a cruise, and she went, very rarely, but this lady, true story, and not to make you guys feel bad, but to make you feel bad. I said, we should go somewhere, just the two of us this Christmas, like we did last year, around the holidays. And she went, yeah. That's pretty rare for her to be like, get away.
Let's do that.
You know what I'm going to do?
Oh.
I'm going to go fly down there. I'm going to wave to you guys as you leave, and with a big giant sign.
So
If I would have known.
that's the point of my story. The beauty in going to Key West with Kenny is he has to get back on the boat at 6 p.m. If he's not back on the boat, I don't have to worry about him anymore.
Hey, I've found friends in Key West. I haven't been there yet, but hey,
We've been there
at the airport in Miami, I ran into the owner of Tattoos and Scars Bar, and
yeah,
his
you tell me that.
Where is that on Duval?
no, it's in Key West. I'm not sure where it's at, and I follow him on Facebook. It looks like a rocking bar.
So wait a minute. Can I ask just, like sidebar?
Mhm.
Well, not really sidebar, but because I'm on the outside here, like, how many days? You said it was the
3 days.
Something
It's
like
like
4
3
days.
or 4
3 or
days.
4 days, yeah.
and what is it? Is just Key West? Key West, and, like,
Miami, Key West, private island, back to Miami.
Private islands in the Bahamas.
yeah, that's what we did last year around the holidays.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
on
it's-
Green Street. Okay.
And you said what now? I'm logging it. I'm putting it. I'm doing a Google Notes right now. I'm gonna look.
It's we board in Miami, go to Key West, leave Key West, go to the Bahamas, and then turn around and come back. And I don't even think we stop in Key West on the way back. We just come straight back
No,
to Miami.
straight back. Yeah. And we're only in Key West till like 6 p.m. because you have to, the Key West has a law that cruise ships have to be out of there by sunset time. So because I can't, like, Sunset Pier is where the boat docks. And that's where everybody goes to watch the sunset. They don't want the boat leaving when sunset's going.
And what were the dates?
The 15th to the 19th.
And when the cruise line was what again? Was it MS?
MSC.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They're a subsidiary of.
I
They're a
mean,
subsidiary of Titanic.
let me, just
And
whether
little
we're on the
Titanics.
podcast, Chris, you can cut this part out if you want to. Just
Well, why don't we
between us.
roll this up and to
No, but
everybody?
If I go, is it okay if I go? Or if you guys don't want me to go, then just let
Oh
me know.
yeah, it's definitely okay.
Bring
to go.
Heather. Bring
Yeah.
Heather because I'm
Or-
bringing Meg.
Or don't bring Heather. Ford and I are not bringing anybody. Just come.
Hell no. Me and Kenny, we're riding solo.
There's got to be somebody else riding solo on that boat.
Yeah, not for long.
You guys
no,
will
come.
find the bachelorette party.
I will tell you the honest truth. If it had been me organizing this, I would have invited you, but it was Chris organizing it, so I don't know why he didn't.
Right.
Trust me,
I can't-
I lost
I
some
can't
sleep
blame you.
over it.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you for not the invitation. But you were talking. No, it's odd that I would. So
I
can't
did
blame you.
lose sleep over it. Like I felt like I'm like I should reach out to Jay and Floyd and see because
Well, you
Kenny
know,
and
Jay-
James can be a date, and then it can be like
I'm gonna take one out of Kenny's book. If I had feelings, you may have
I'm
heard,
good. I'll
but
hang
I
out
don't.
with Kenny.
all right. We need to
I'll hang
wrap
out
this
with
up. We're gonna call the podcast. Do you guys have a veterans business that you want to endorse?
That sounds like homework.
Sounds like homework, which we didn't assign,
Okay,
Chris.
no homework
I
this
forgot,
time. All right.
I forgot about that.
Thank you so
we
much,
definitely
everybody.
need to- Okay. So from now on, think of a veterans business in your area.
Yeah.
That you know that you would endorse, that's doing good things. Actually, what did I hear about the other day? My bad. Anyways, yeah,
Craig Morgan reenlisting in the Army Reserves.
that is awesome though. Craig Morgan doing. He spent
All right.
hold on. He
was like, "Who is this?"
No, he's a country singer. He spent, before he even became big, he spent 10 years active duty. He was in the invasion of Panama. And then
You were there?
Yeah, it was.
No shit. All right. I want to hear this story, but we're going to end this podcast now. Everyone, thank you for checking out our podcast. Thank you for the support. Look for us soon. Another podcast coming soon.
Exactly.
Bye, everyone.
Love y'all.
Bye.